Same city, same company, same starting salary. You make $52,000 a year. They make $51,000. You're both 27 years old, both sitting in the same building, both ordering lunch from the same Chipotle down the street. From the outside, the starting line is identical. Fast forward 20 years. They retire at 48. You're still working. Not because they earned more. Not because they got luckier. Because of one decision they made on a Wednesday afternoon in year one that you didn't. And the gap between those two lives isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's automatic. And it started before either of you noticed it was happening. Their name is Jordan. Your name is you. You both got hired the same month at a mid-sized marketing firm in Austin, Texas. Same onboarding packet. Same health insurance options. Same gray office on the second floor with a window that faces the parking garage. First paycheck lands on a Friday. You feel it. That specific thing that happens when your first real salary hits your account. Not student loan money. Not part-time shift money. Real money. Money you earned by showing up somewhere 5 days a week and doing actual work. That Friday, you do what feels natural. You upgrade the apartment. Nothing crazy. Just a nicer place than the one you had in college. You'd been looking at it for weeks. It felt earned. Jordan does something different. Jordan opens the HR benefits portal. Reads through everything, including the part most people skip. The 401k section. The company matches up to 4% of salary, dollar for dollar. Jordan runs the math. 4% of $51,000 is $2,040 a year. The company will add another $2,040 free on top of whatever Jordan contributes up to that threshold. Jordan sets the contribution to 4%. That's about $85 out of every biweekly paycheck. Then Jordan opens a Roth IRA at Fidelity. Sets up an automatic transfer of $200 every payday into a single fund, FXAEA, S&P 500 Index. Expense ratio 0.015%. Total setup time 34 minutes. Then Jordan closes the laptop and goes to watch the game. Nothing dramatic happens after that. No confirmation that it was the right call. No moment where the math becomes visible. Just $285 moving automatically out of Jordan's account every 2 weeks into something that quietly, invisibly begins to work. You, meanwhile, are settling into the new apartment. It's $400 more a month than the old one, but it's nicer. It makes sense at this income level. You earned it. A few months later, you open a savings account. Not a Roth IRA, a regular savings account at your bank, earning 0.01% APY. You deposit whatever's left at the end of the month. Some months that's $200. Some months it's nothing, because something came up. The car needed tires. There was a wedding in Nashville. The holiday flights were more expensive than you expected. You're not being reckless. You're just living. And the 401k form is still in your inbox. You'll get to it. By year 2, Jordan gets a $3,800 raise. You get $4,100. More than Jordan. You celebrate. You go out to dinner. And then, the same thing happens again. Quieter this time. Almost automatic. The lifestyle absorbs it. You move into a slightly better neighborhood. The car lease comes up and you get something newer. The credit card that was almost zero creeps back up because there were 3 months in a row where something unexpected hit. Within 6 months, the raise is gone. Not wasted. Not blown on anything you'd be embarrassed to name. Just consumed cleanly and completely by a life that expanded to meet it. Jordan's raise goes somewhere different. Jordan increases the Roth IRA contribution by $50 a month. Same apartment, same car, same Chipotle, but the gap is already opening. Silently, automatically, every payday. Here's the math nobody shows you. Not the motivational version, The actual version. Jordan is investing $570 a month across the 401k and Roth IRA combined. At year 1, the account balance is $100. Not impressive. Nothing you'd mention at a dinner party. At year 5, $41,000. Still not dramatic. Jordan's colleagues don't know. There's nothing to show. At year 10, $112,000. The S&P 500 has averaged roughly 10% annually over the past century. Closer to 7% after inflation, which is the number worth planning around. At year 15, $238,000. At year 18, $380,000. And then something happens that changes the math entirely. The portfolio starts generating more each month than Jordan is contributing. Not from any decision Jordan made that month. Not from extra work, extra hours, extra hustle. Just from the compounding that has been running quietly in the background since year 1. The money is making more money than Jordan is putting in. And once that ratio tips, it doesn't go back. You, at year 10, have $14,000 in savings. You've been contributing, just not consistently. Not automatically. Not before the month had a chance to spend the money for you. You finally opened the 401k in year 3. Better late than never. But you never captured the full company match. You put in 2% instead of 4%. The free money you left on the table over 3 years, over $6,100. Gone permanently. Not lost to a bad investment. Left in an HR footnote you didn't read completely. By year 20, the picture is this. Jordan is 47. Total portfolio value, $618,000. Never made more than $78,000 in a single year. Drove a used Honda for 9 years. Still has the same IKEA couch from 2009. But at the current withdrawal rate of 4% annually, the standard safe withdrawal rate that financial planners use for retirement planning, Jordan can pull $24,720 a year from the portfolio without touching the principal. Combined with a part-time consulting gig and Social Security projections, Jordan can stop working at 48, not retire to a yacht. Just stop having to show up somewhere because money requires it. Stop doing the calculation before ordering the second drink. Stop checking the account on Tuesday mornings with that feeling already in your chest before the screen loads. That feeling you know exactly. You, at 47, have $89,000 in savings and a 401k worth $143,000. Not nothing. You worked hard. You made good money. You lived well. But the math doesn't support stopping at 48 or 52. Or maybe 58, depending on how the next decade goes. And the difference between your $232,000 and Jordan's $618,000 isn't income. Jordan made less than you in most years. It isn't intelligence. It isn't discipline in the painful, white-knuckle sense. It's structure. The money moved before Jordan could spend it. The decision was made once. On a Wednesday afternoon in year 1, and then it ran automatically for 20 years without requiring anything else. Here's what Jordan understood that most people don't. Savings rate matters more than income. Not the amount you save, the percentage. The average American saves about 4 to 5 cents of every dollar they earn. Jordan saved 20%. Not through deprivation, through the order of operations. Most people earn, spend, and save whatever's left. Whatever's left is usually nothing. Jordan flipped it. Save first, automatically. Before the money touches your checking account, build your life around what remains. That's the whole thing. Not a secret, not a hack, not something you needed a finance degree to figure out. Just a different order. The other thing Jordan understood, the company match is not optional. If your employer matches your 401k contributions, even partially, and you are not capturing that full match, you are leaving guaranteed money behind every single pay period. A 4% match on a $51,000 salary is $2,040 a year. Over 20 years, with compounding at 7%, that free money alone grows to over $88,000. $88,000 that required nothing from you except filling out a form that takes 15 minutes. That most people on your floor either skipped entirely or set too low. And the Roth IRA. The 2025 contribution limit is $7,000 if you're under 50. The money goes in after taxes. It grows for decades without the IRS touching it. When you retire and withdraw it, you owe nothing. Not on the growth, not on the principal, nothing. For someone in their late 20s, currently in a lower tax bracket than they'll likely be in peak earning years, the Roth isn't just a good option. It's the structurally correct one. The government built a door directly into the tax code. Most people walk past it every year without noticing it's there. There's something else Jordan did that's harder to name. Jordan resisted the pull. Not perfectly, not always, but every time the income went up, the lifestyle didn't follow automatically. And that pull is real. The colleagues upgrading apartments after a raise. The group chat about the weekend trip. The parking garage on Monday with the newer cars. The pressure to make your income visible. To live at the level you earn in ways that other people can see. That pressure is not subtle. And resisting it quietly, without an audience, for years, that is the actual hard part, not the math. The math is straightforward. The hard part is doing it inside a life that is constantly rewarding the visible decisions and ignoring the invisible ones. Let's be clear about what retirement at 48 actually means. It doesn't mean sitting on a beach somewhere. It means Jordan can. The job became optional. Not that Jordan quit necessarily. Maybe Jordan keeps working, but in a different role, different pace, different terms. Because the math changed. Getting laid off is no longer catastrophic. Taking 6 months to figure out what's next isn't a financial emergency. Saying no to a job that pays well but costs something that doesn't show up on a pay stub, that's now a real option. That's what $618,000 actually buys. Not freedom from work, freedom from urgency. The floor is there. One bad Thursday can't unravel it. You're not too far behind to change this. That's the part worth saying clearly. Because the temptation when you see this math is to feel like the window closed. It didn't. The compounding gap opens wider every year you wait. But it never closes completely until you decide to stop. And you're still here. Which means you haven't stopped. The sequence from here is the same sequence Jordan used in year 1. First, capture the full company 401k match. Whatever percentage your employer matches, contribute at least that much. This week, not next quarter. Second, open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. Set up an automatic transfer for whatever you can start with. Even $100 a month is $1,200 a year in a tax-free account that starts compounding today. Third, when the next raise arrives, and it will, let the gap widen. Keep living at the same level. Put the difference into the accounts you just opened, not someday. The same month the raise hits your paycheck. That's how Jordan did it. Not through sacrifice, through structure. The difference between you and Jordan isn't talent. It isn't income. Jordan made less. It's the order of operations and the awareness of what a raise actually costs when your lifestyle absorbs it before you get to think about it. The $1,000 difference in starting salary? Irrelevant. Jordan's 34 minutes of HR paperwork in year 1? Worth approximately $386,000 over 20 years. That's not motivational math. That's just arithmetic. And the arithmetic is still running. The question that belongs to you now: what does this Wednesday afternoon look like? If this is the kind of story that makes money make sense to you, the real texture of it, not the highlight reel, Subscribe to Alex Gets Rich. Every week, we go inside the actual decisions, the ones that compound quietly and the ones that don't. The next story is already waiting for you.